Kia ora. Ko Prongia toko maunga, ko Waipa toko awa, ko Richard Templar toko ingoa, ko Kai Whakahaere te ao rangahau, Engineering New Zealand, ko Nahana Puri ahau, aho naho ana, kei Te Whanganui a Tara ahau. Kia ora and welcome everyone. I'd like to talk to you about Member Connect, what we discussed, and what were some of the key findings I was able to take out of our meetings. So we talked about three key areas. The first is occupational regulation, the second engineering practice, and the third sector programs. In occupational regulation, we talked about how the government is looking to introduce new legislation to manage the way engineers are controlled and regulated. That has three components. The first is registration of all engineers. The second is licensing, which would replace chartered professional engineers. And the third is structural changes, the setting up of a separate board. Engineering New Zealand has been working closely with MBIE on this, making submissions, and also trying to make sure that it delivers the best possible outcome for the profession and for New Zealand. So we'll keep you posted about that. Engineering practice is work we do to help you do your jobs. Recently had a significant piece of work looking at documentation for use around building consents with councils. You can find the outcomes of that work on our website. And that's what our engineering practice team does. They're looking at ways across the profession and across different disciplines to basically enhance your everyday working life. And then thirdly, we talked about sector programs. Sector programs is where we work very closely with the government in our most influential manner, in that we are helping government write policy and regulation. So let's say government is looking at, say, an area of geotechnical understanding around earthquakes. They'll work with us and we'll go out and find some of New Zealand's leading experts in the field. MBIE, for example, will contract us, we will contract those experts, and we provide project management services. We don't compete against engineering firms to provide those services. It's only where they want multiple engineers and it's a non-tendered process do we get involved. But it's a very important activity engineering is that New Zealand is engaged in, because it allows us to directly influence government and regulations. So those were the three areas we talked about: occupational regulation, engineering practice, and sector programs. What was the key feedback I found in our Member Connect process? Firstly, very few engineers had an understanding of what was happening in occupational regulation. So keep checking our website, keep looking at our emails. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening in that space. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact anyone in the Engineering New Zealand team. This is a big change to the way engineers are regulated, and it's very important. So it's a key focus for our team. Secondly, was the fact that engineers were extremely busy. You had a lot on and you were wondering how you're going to be able to get enough staff to be able to deliver the work, particularly with the immigration tap turned off. So we've been working with ACE New Zealand and others on working with Immigration New Zealand on what can be done to turn that tap back on, both in the short term and in the longer term, but also getting the message out that it's really important for engineering firms to recruit graduates and start training them up, because when that work comes through, they may be your best source of resource in the future, of people in the future. Another question that came up frequently is, what are we doing about climate change? And this is a very important issue both for the world and for the profession. And so Engineering New Zealand in mid-November will be releasing its Climate Change Action Plan, which will be our response to addressing climate change. And you'll see a variety of things in that plan that relate to things we'll be doing as an organisation to model for small to medium organisations, things we'll be advocating on your behalf to government, and also things we'll be looking at in the larger context of the engineering profession. And where possible, we'll be drawing on the knowledge and advice of people overseas. So thank you very much for the chance to meet with all of you. And for those I didn't meet this time round, I look forward to seeing you in the future. Please keep in touch. Remember, we work on your behalf for the issues that are important to you. Thank you very much.